friend. Welcome to our Tuesday Tiny Journal live video. So, as you're seeing here, I have my tiny journals all made. I did 3, so I don't have to remake it so quickly. Or I can probably just give one of these. I'm bringing up a second device. And then we go begin. I think they turned out amazing. Amazing. And I still need to do the flip through of the other 2 that we completed over in the Facebook group. And so if you're new to Tiny Journal Tuesdays and you're like, oh, how do I do this? I want to do it as well. Don't you worry your pretty little self about it. There is a video on how to make these journals, right? Which I went ahead and I made these. So this one is that one, and this one is this one, right? So you have 2 options. You can make it with scrapbook paper, which is what I did here, or you can use a cereal box and you can cover it with pattern paper, which is what I did here. All right, so there's our options, and this is all. They start out very small. There's 6 index cards inside, and this one I just used a staple. This one I did a 3-stitch pamphlet stitch to bind that, but I just decided to use a staple for this one. So you do have the options. The tutorial on how to make these are on the YouTube channel, or as soon as this video ends I will link it in the iCard, so you can check that out if you want to go ahead and make one of these tiny journals as well. So how does it work? We have 30 minutes on the clock. We're going to create something on our page, and when the time runs out we gotta stop. So that's how it works. And I am going to, I have my clock to the side, so when the time ends you'll hear a little chime go da 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 da, right? And then wherever I am on that journey I gotta stop. Alrighty, so I am just making sure my second device is all situated. And I'm going to start my clock. So it's already, my clock is on, and what I'm going to do, I'm just turning on my volume. I should have done that before, but that's fine. So if you're joining me live, say hi in the chat. If you're joining us on the replay, say hashtag replay. What I've decided to do for today, I'm going to be using this one. This pattern paper is from the new release that is coming out tomorrow, called Journey. I thought it was so cute and I wanted it on the cover. And for some strange reason I always just ignore that page and go right into the double page spread. And I have, of course it can't fit in frame, I have like this box with a whole ton of stuff. So I have doilies, pattern paper, I have like my scrap vintage papers, coffee dyed papers, I have printables in them. So I really don't know. I don't have a plan today, and I think I thought about it all day, and I thought, what am I going to do? And I was like, you know what? It is a challenge, and so when I go live, we're going to figure it out together. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm pulling a whole ton of printables from this box. I have all my, so this is how much I just pulled, but I don't know why, but I might use bits and pieces. I'm going to grab some of the torn papers This is pattern paper, and I think that's enough. I'm also going to use a bit of napkin. So this is like a fun mixed media. Hello, let me try and disconnect this cord. Alright, that's just eating away at my time. So what I'm going to do, here is I have these little doilies. This, I stained it with coffee. So all I did was well actually this wasn't instant. This was, you know, brewed coffee. And I just used a paintbrush and I just splattered the doily. That's all I did to get that effect. And so I like to remove the center and then I can use the outside for a fun little something. But I'm going to put some tissue paper down, some napkin down first. And so I have my background. So I do have a selection of napkins here and more doilies. And I just need to choose. I think I like these flowers. I think I'm going to use that for today. There is this one particular napkin that I always use. And I really need to start. Oh, I also like the flower on that. And it also has a butterfly, so I think maybe that's the one we're going to use. So all I'm going to do, so I think this one is good to show you as an example if you've never done this before. So this is our napkin. They usually have 1 ply or 2 ply, sometimes they have 3 ply. You don't want to use it with the back. You want to separate the ply, so you can rub it together like this and it will come apart pretty easily. And I typically keep this part, you know, sometimes you want to wipe off something, so I try to keep that. And then you're going to just tear out the portion that you need. So I'm going to put this one to the side because I'm not using that. I'm going to be using this one. So I think I want flower like this with the butterfly. Maybe not, we don't know. So I'm just going to tear around the floral element and then I can tear it smaller. And I mean, you could cut it with a scissor. However, when you tear it and then you stick it down onto your page, it blends right into your page. When you cut it, sometimes you have that harsh line, which I don't particularly care for, so I always just rip it. And to be honest, I'm the person who will tell you to rip paper because it's therapeutic. What I'm going to do is to use some glue stick for this. So I have a piece of paper here and I want to roughly I think I'm going to not use the butterflies. I want the flower like nice in center on my page. So I'm just going to tear it like that. Then we can use bits and pieces over here if we so desire. And so I'm just eyeballing to see where I need to rip. So I need to remove some, and it can flow over to that side as well. So you don't have to rip it all off. I think this is what I'm going to work with. And I'm not throwing these bits away. I'm putting it in a container so that I can possibly reuse it as little embellishments on my page. I tend to not throw away my scraps. So you can do this in two ways. You can put it onto the paper, turn it right side up, and just gently rub the glue over the napkin. Try not to rip it, or you can just rub the glue onto the page. But I like to do it like this. And then I'm just going to take my time and slowly smooth it out. My fingers are a little tacky because there's glue on it. So I'm just taking my time, smoothing it out. And look how beautiful that is. So pretty. You could also use decoupage in medium if you have that. If not, this works perfectly. If you have the paper Mod Podge, it has to be paper. Because I tried using the matte as well and my page would still stick together. So I would recommend just using the paper one, or just mixing any glue solution with 1 part water and 1 part PVA glue, which I have as well, but in the interest of time and I want this to dry very quickly, see, it's dried, this is what I decided to do. Now I could either use some of these papers in here to decorate my page, or I could use faux paper, which is washi tape that looks like paper, which I feel like that's what I should do, just so I don't sit here for too long, because I've already used 10 minutes out of my time. So I'm just ripping bits and pieces of the paper. I'm not taking out too much paper so that I get ripping bits and pieces, which I'm not going to use all of this, but it's just so that I can decide what I want to use. So I like the way this little strip looks. Where's the liquid glue? Oh dear. I used it this morning and now I don't know what I did with the glue. 1 second, I'm trying to find this glue. Okay, found it. So I'm just using regular Elmer's glue all. For this, and I'm just going to do a collage on this side, and I'm going to rip bits and pieces and put it over here as well, just so it looks like it belongs. I think maybe that is enough, because I don't want to cover all of this prettiness. Just a nice little fun little thing there. That's what I'm thinking. And I like to use different color paper just for, and I know this has the white on it. You know what, I'm just gonna, that's white paint, but I'm just going to do this because we don't have time for that right now. I'm going to rip bits of this brown paper bag into tiny strips, and I'm just layering and overlapping the different elements. That is a little too big. And I'm going to put this right here. So your hands will get messy, but I think the mess is a part of the fun. I always say if you're not making a mess, you're not having fun. Alright, in the chat because it's keep on loading on my second device. Let me restart it. So I'm not sure if I'm still here. Probably should pause the clock until I figure this out. Yes. Yes. I'm back. Alrighty. So I think this looks nice right here. And of course I covered the little white element there, and so I'm gonna replace it. We have to replace it. And I still want it to be underneath. Okay. And I think that's all she wrote. I think that's all I'm going to add. I'm going to tear this and make a fun little pleating situation here with this doily decorative element. I do really love it. I do really love to do this. I think I'm gonna put this right here like that, maybe like this. And let's see what element we're gonna use first before we decide. And I have some of these elements here from the labels and butterfly labels and number bits is what they're called. I have not been doing any. I think this one is perfect because it has the pinks. Alrighty. Maybe this one is the one. Maybe this one is the one. Ooh, this is the one. This is the one. That there is the one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. If I can find my scissor. I want to cut it in half. And have half of the butterfly popping off here. And then I'll have this underneath the butterfly. Yes. But before I do that, I want some bits of this sticking out from here. I think that would be lovely. And so I'm going to do the same thing I did here and put some glue onto that. I have 12 minutes. Let's see if we can't get this done in that time. I think I'm just going to put some glue down here for this. And then we're going to stick this on top. Oh, this page is making me happy. But I do feel like it wants something else. It wants something red. I usually have red bits of this paper, but I don't know. I need something red. And black. Red and black. Just so everything pops. Let me see if I have some red elements here. let's hurry up and get this done before it goes ahead and freeze again. So there is my peach. I just need something red, as I was saying. And so I'm just rubbing a bit of this Printable here, and I'm going to pop the red over here. I was also saying that sometimes we love to hoard the things when we should be using the things. And I'm one of those persons, and so I love the tiny journal concept just because you can use up all of these little elements and printables that we have, and I think that is looking nice. I think it wants a little bit more to pop out. Okay, so I think that's enough. I was reading this morning in Proverbs, and I remembered that I have these little word definitions, and I remember I was like, let's go deep on the word prudent, and I know I had it. I guess I used it. I was also reading, so I could use prudent, which I don't have. I guess I used the word prudent before, or I could use peace. So I'm doing a devotional that's around peace with someone. So we're on day 3, and so I've been reading about peace. So I could use that, but in my reading this morning, you know, that stood out to me. So I wanted to use that today. But I guess I used it. Alright. We'll just use peace. So this gives us the definition of peace. And this way we have some... Do I put it here? Or do I put it there? Or here? I'm going to put it there. And I want to add some black accents. I have 5 minutes and we need to hurry. I think I might add some splatters to this page. I'm not being particularly neat just because I'm hurrying. I do want to get this done before my clock stops on me. I feel like maybe I went too crazy with the black right there. And wash out my brush. I think I went too crazy. I'm going to have to cover that with something. I think that was overkill with the black right there. I have 3 minutes left. Gosh. want to say thank you for hanging out with me whilst this phone keeps on going on and off. Alright, I think we're going to stop there. I have 2 minutes. I want some gold to hide some of the black that I went a little too crazy with. I'm just going to use this paper since we already have... Oh, I can just use the paper actually. Nice idea. I just rip bits of the paper since it already has a hole in it, so I don't have to open the paint. That came in so handy. Sorry if I'm out of frame, because I would have had to go and do a couple of coats of the gold to cover up all of the black, you know? So this is so fun. I had so much fun doing this page. I've not done something like this in a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add a piece here just to even it out. And then I do want to add something else right there. Let's add a number. Or maybe a letter. Let's add a letter. I don't know if I have P, which I think I used the P when I used the word prudence. Yeah. I only have J. Right. So I did use it. So I'm just going to use a number. I have 43 seconds. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I have literally 2 seconds left, but I'm finished. It's a bit messy, so let me try and clear up my mess so you can see what we did here. So this is our completed page. So focus. What happened? Okay. So here's the completed page. So we have our napkin right here. We have some bits of the napkin there. We have the doily, we have Printable, we have some torn paper. And I really love the way it turned out. I love this flower here. It's so pretty. I love it. Only thing I wish I did was some splatters. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. So thank you so very much for joining me today. If you do decide to create something similar, please time yourself. Try to get it done in under 30 minutes. Okay? And what you can do is just grab all your supplies. As for me, I didn't know what I was going to do, so I was a little flustered and scattered, but it came together in the end. If you do decide to create, go ahead and share it over in the Facebook group. Tag me because I want to see what you're creating, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Tomorrow we have another or second episode in our new series for Watercolor Wednesdays. So pay attention to that. That will go live at 12 p.m. I'll see you next week, Tuesday, for another tiny journal Tuesday. Bye. If I could turn it off.